Look up here, I'm in heaven.
I didn't really ever expect to make another film. After the first film went out in 2013, I thought that my time on David Bowie was done. And it was only after his sort of untimely passing that the BBC approached me again and said, would I do another film? And initially I was wary of doing anything else because I felt I'd already made a film that, while not being completely definitive, did look at the key years of his career, certainly up to the 1980s. The period of his life that was of the most interest was those last 5 years when he returned after his heart attack from some kind of seclusion and back into some kind of back in the spotlight in some way, even though he didn't give any interviews. These are prophetic, that the stage play is prophetic, that Black Star, the album, is prophetic, and that he knew and he'd calculated all this. I don't think it's that simple. Certainly in terms of Lazarus, the stage play, this was something that he'd wanted to do right back in, I think he first talked about it in sort of 1967. And then he wanted to make a stage play or a musical of Ziggy Stardust. He then, as we know, wanted to do something with Diamond Dogs and did to some extent. Then again, he sort of reapproached the idea during the Glass Spider tour in the 80s. So it's something that had been on his mind. The subject matter is interesting, but does it prophesize that this was his way of saying goodbye? I'm not sure it does. You know, Thomas Jerome Newton was a fascinating character, and I think he certainly had parallels with that character, which is why he was so brilliant in that part in the first place in the film, but also why he continued to be obsessed by that character.